backyard. So, what's the obvious play here? If your answer was try to score, brother, you'd be incorrect. A Panenka. A Panenka. You are not Zinedine Zidane. Did he learn nothing from Kun Aguero? Senegal are champions of Africa for only the second time in their history. The second time in only 3 competitions, too. This is indeed what you call a golden age. Congratulations to Sadio Mane. After his team left the pitch in protest, he got them all back, and they won big.
Sadio Mane, he's the best football player in the world. I don't know why he's laughing for.
I just heard word that Donald Trump is en route to Saudi Arabia to hand him both the FIFA Peace Prize and the Nobel Peace Prize that Maria Machado gave him on Friday. The World Cup is going to be fun, isn't it? Let's not get off topic here. What on earth was Brahim Diaz thinking? I truly hope he has the strongest security detail on the continent to escort him out of the country. The man may need to go back to being Spanish. At the very least, he'll be returning to a more positive, stable environment with Real Madrid. Hopefully he doesn't think Xabi Alonso will be there to console him. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. International, welcome back. I am in awe of what we've all just witnessed. A 15-minute delay for a penalty kick in the dying minutes of a Continental Cup final. Some of the most outrageous refereeing I've ever seen in my entire life. Players leaving the pitch in protest thanks to this crazy refereeing, only for those same players to post stories about this injustice while sitting in the changing room, while the clock is still ticking, and then return to the pitch and lift the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, AFCON. Subscribe if you haven't. Now, I didn't really cover this tournament on this channel, obviously because South Africa went out early, and no, that's not the reason. Just lots of life stuff's got in the way, working on longer videos, working on a new format for the podcast, so you can watch out for that. And I was supposed to get a cabinet delivered last week, still hasn't come, so there's an echo in this video. Apologies for that. But we are here. Senegal are the winners, despite Morocco coming into this tournament having not won it for 5 decades, being the host and also ranked number 1 on the continent. You'd think they had a lot to prove here. If ever the stars were aligned for them to come out and win big, it was right now. And they were good enough in this tournament with some really good results, getting them all the way to the final. 2-0 against Cameroon, 3-0 against Zambia. They were taken to deep waters by Nigeria in the semi-final. A penalty win thanks to a goalkeeper that apparently turns into prime Lev Yashin when he dons national colours. Yassine Bono was marvellous. Goalkeeper of the tournament by far, completely deserved. Senegal, I would say, also had a great story in the lead-up to this final. I think that they showed a bit more fight, a bit more edge than Morocco did in the lead-up. I think that's fair to say. Multiple times they went behind only to fight their way back and get the result that they needed. It happened against Congo. It happened against Sudan. Against Egypt, who just can't seem to get the better of Senegal when it matters, were again knocked out by them. But all of that is just fluff in this story right now, because now we get to the final, where I would say Senegal, in a way, also fought back. The final itself was like many other finals of high-level contests. 2 teams, both of them with some incredible firepower, incredible defensive capabilities, but just playing quite cautiously so as not to let the opposition get a little bit of an edge, because these games always come down to very fine margins. So it was very high tempo, very little time on the ball for anybody. I think Senegal probably had the better opportunities overall throughout the first 90 minutes. Well, I guess it was like 90 plus 24. What is that? Quick maths. 114. Both teams had their chances. Both keepers needed to be alert. Again, Bono was just incredible. The saves he was making were just unreal. It was always that sort of game that was going to be decided by something extraordinary. And we got that. Yeah, we definitely got that. 92nd minute. Senegal win a corner and score, only for the goal to be disallowed for a push on Hakimi. And you know what? I'm going to be real with you. It looks like any other push that's happened on any other corner in the entirety of professional football. Not that, most of those other pushes aren't necessarily fouls. It's just that they're usually never given. So it's always strange when they are. That makes sense? Seconds later, Morocco win a corner which was won after it looked like they were offsides in the build-up play to it. And from that corner, they win a penalty. Pandemonium. Senegal fans begin clashing with the match security. Senegal's coach orders his team off the pitch. Players are back in the changing room, posting stories on social media while the clock is still ticking. The funniest thing about this is that this is Ibrahim Baye, born in France. Mother is Moroccan, father is Senegalese. can't make this stuff up. I've never seen anything like this before. I don't think any of us have seen anything close to this before. This is the final of a continental competition. Do you guys understand this? It's extremely unprofessional by Senegal in front of the entire world watching, so it's not a good look for African football. I gotta tell you that much. But I get it. Before this match, just about every single one of Morocco's opponents, even some of the teams that they didn't play, were complaining, saying that some teams were being shortchanged in favor of the hosts. From VAR decisions going Morocco's way in an instant, when several decisions for opponents were refused and weren't even being shown on TV. Last-minute refereeing changes have been questioned. It's all-around insanity. Calls like this one where Brian Mbeumo of Cameroon gets taken out, but no call is given, happened more than once. According to Ismail Jacobs, Senegal fullback, the elements were working against them in the background, saying he said it's no coincidence that 3 Senegalese players fell suddenly ill at match time. He never went into the details when asked what he meant. Instead, he opted to say, quote, "You'll find out." Not saying any of this is true, I mean, who can? These are very serious accusations that you can't be throwing around without any proof. I know we always joke about AFCON being the craziest tournament out there, and this stuff happens and that stuff happens, but all of this is unprecedented. We have a team walk off in the middle of a final. This is insane. I truly can't believe it. But you know what? I do get the emotive response by the Senegalese camp, if they do truly believe all of this is true. And if I were a Senegalese, I know that I would be absolutely livid when it comes to all the calls that were made at the end of the game. I was already a little bit annoyed just being a neutral. Again, because things like the push that led to Senegal's goal being disallowed, they happen all the time. And then the penalty given right after it did seem a little bit soft. And then you add on the referee looking like he's smiling and laughing and talking to some of the Moroccan players while he's making his decision at the end. It's not a good look. Again, none of us can prove any of this stuff, and I would like to err a bit on the side and give it the benefit of the doubt, but it just doesn't look good. And then we get to the moment that will keep Diaz up very, very late at night for the rest of his life. Sadio Mane gets his boys back on the pitch after a lengthy negotiation, and Diaz steps up to the plate. There are a lot of people out there that legitimately think that Brahim Diaz missed this penalty on purpose because either Morocco made some sort of shady deal with Senegal, I don't know how that works, or maybe he was ashamed at how poorly the referee officiated this match, or perhaps how badly some of the Moroccan fans and ball boys were acting. Lots of clips of Morocco fans being disruptive. Now, I know it's usually the loud minority of any given population or fan base that give the majority a really bad name. Whenever you hear things like, "I hate Manchester United fans," or "I hate Arsenal fans," or "Barcelona fans," or whatever, those people are typically just talking about those unhinged people on the internet, or, God forbid, in real life. It's not a representation of everybody. But because that's the only thing that people see, it's what they associate people with, and it sucks. It's called stereotyping. Don't do it. However, you see goalkeepers continually getting their towels stolen. Also, by the way, the towel stealing, those were ball boys, not fans. This was clearly organized from a higher level, and we know this to be true because the players were doing it too. Here's Saibari trying to block Senegal's backup goalkeeper from getting Mendy his towel. Honestly, what in the world is he doing? Does he not realize he looks very foolish doing this? Here's Achraf Hakimi throwing Edouard Mendy towel away during a scuffle. I saw someone say that Hakimi wouldn't be worried about this loss as it's in his mother's name, which, I mean, obviously, this towel stealing is just very strange behavior, but with all the rain pouring, it's wet, so they're just trying to distract the goalkeeper. But another reason that I kept hearing about is quite an interesting one. The Moroccan players, believe that the Senegalese players, or at least the other African nation players, because it's happened in the Nigeria match too, they believe that they were doing black magic with the towels, which, I mean, look, here's the thing. Even if that were true, why don't the Moroccans just do it themselves? They can do black magic too. There's nothing in the rule that says you can't use black magic too. The more likely reason, until proven otherwise, is that they are just rage baiters and sore losers. Every Moroccan fan has them to blame right now because the world now sees them as incredibly petty. Also, I feel like this needs saying because a lot of negativity has been pointed towards Morocco. Senegal didn't paint themselves in glory either. Remember the incident with their fans? Remember them walking out? All of this is bad. At the same time, all of this can be bad at the same time. Also, by the way, Morocco will be fair play for the tournament. This is an award that's just given to the team that has the least number of yellow cards, so it's not anything to do with the fans or what some people might think. It's still quite funny if you contrast that with ball boys tackling players trying to get goalkeepers towels. But going back to Brahim Diaz and the allegations that he missed on purpose, Morocco haven't won AFCON since 1976. The premier trophy on the continent, key towards tangible recognition that they are in fact the best team in all of Africa, and to do it in your home country, in front of all of your fans. Why in the world would Brahim Diaz miss on purpose for any reason whatsoever? It's pretty simple. He wanted to embarrass Senegal, and unfortunately, it just did not go the way he planned. And I don't think many of us realize the true gravity of this embarrassment. He's the tournament's top scorer. He's a Real Madrid star. He's a Morocco star. He was one kick away from, at the very least, being in every single conversation best Moroccan player of all time. Just by default, by the way. Doesn't matter how good he is for the rest of his career or what he does with Morocco, because if he scored that, he would forever have his name just underneath a fabled scoreline. Morocco won 0%. Doesn't get that in. Moroccan fans were already celebrating in the streets. Moroccan ball boys were patting each other on the back. He could have skied this shot, and it would have been less embarrassing. Penalties have been missed in finals bigger than this. It's happened before. He could have missed the goal outright, but no. The Panenka. In a final, he had to walk up and receive his golden boot while being wooed by his own countrymen, the same countrymen that will likely now claim that he is indeed 100% Spanish. This statue will go slap bang in the middle of Dakar, right next to Sadio Mane's. Guys, it is a World Cup year, and we may have already witnessed the greatest match of 2026, and it's still January. This was a wild way to end the tournament. There was a lot that happened in this tournament. Like I said, I didn't cover it all that much. Actually, and I think when I saw my life out a bit better, then it's probably due a real proper tournament recap, which, hopefully is on the cards. And there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.
All right, boys, we got another football reaction in the middle of a snowstorm. It's snowing like crazy. You see the other side of the camera. There's like a foot of snow. We're living peak like this. We're just chilling. We got a fire going. We got a snowstorm. We're watching Premier League all morning. It's been crazy. So Manchester United 3, Arsenal 2, and the thoughts about this game. This is literally coming from me, who was kind of gassing up Arsenal a lot. And I said in the stream though, I did have a sense that they had a loss coming soon. Arsenal this season has been losing about once a month. This was a huge game. This is one of those trap games though, because United, they're expected to be United. United have been on and off, been playing well recently, so they're really going into this game with high form, but just kind of on and off, inconsistent over the seasons. At the Emirates as well, guys. United today got their first win at the Emirates. They said in 8 years. 8 years, man. Look, people are really quick to jump the gun on Arsenal for this loss. I've been seeing people going on Twitter saying you bottled it. They're never going to win a trophy. Look, let's take the bias out of here, right? United are playing stunning football. I mean, we're going to talk about the goals today. Some of those goals they scored, wow. Arsenal remain to me one of the most defensive teams. I know they lost. I don't, it's not an ideal loss for them. A draw probably would have been definitely more beneficial for how the game went. But Arsenal is just a tough team to beat, man, because like today, they didn't really play well. I mean, in a lot of games, I don't really feel like they play well, but they end up getting results because they're the best corner team I've ever seen in my life. And then not only do they get you one set-piece goal a game, they get you another one of these goals a game. I mean, you look at their first goal they scored, where it goes to Martinez. It goes off him early, like on some jam kind of cross ricochet. They also get you one of those goals a game. So not to mention, they're kind of getting two of those every game. They do have one of the best defenses in the world, if not the best, which conceded 3 today, but we'll talk about it. And then they'll actually go and get you one other goal, right? So they're tough to beat because that's kind of how they do it. They get 2 or 3 goals, everyone gets mad, but they're one of the most effective teams in football. And today, they just got outdone. They just got outdone. They really played really poor today. Still got 2 goals, 1 corner, which we'll talk about it. But man, all the credit goes to United. I think Carrick needs to be just full-time manager. I mean, they could have beat City by 5 goals. They were playing prime liquid tiki-taka. And then today, the boys for United are going out there just with a certain level of freedom. And they look good. Like, they just to see United back in that four-back system, man, it's just so refreshing, especially with the players they have in this team. And I gotta say, as amazing as Arsenal are defensively, man, questions have to be asked about that attack. I mean, just we're not even talking about one specific player. Like the overall quality that I was seeing in the link-up play, in the technique today was clear, man, from United. Like Arsenal's got to figure that part out. They need to get more consistency out of players like Odegaard. I want to see him be good. I want to see him be playing well every game. And even for me, I know Saka ends up with a really good match rating today, but Luke Shaw Unk, man, was, hanging in there with him and making him annoyed and shoving him around a little bit. And, Saka was getting mad. He wasn't getting all these calls. Like, that for me was a little, I don't know. So, look, United, let's break down the game here, right? I don't think United had over 1 XG. They did it 0.73, and that's what I mean, bro. They get you 3 goals today. We start off the first goal with Arsenal, a bit of fortune. And Buemo wins the ball. Arsenal out the back. Oh, my God. What were they doing? You're up 1-0. You take your foot off the gas. You get all this early momentum. You score that goal. You start chilling out. The game becomes more even. You make a mistake like that. I was watching Champions League highlights also with my best friend like 2 nights ago. I forget what team we were watching. It was trying to play out the back in full press. It was even worse than this goal today. They were trying to take time in the box. And there's times for it. And this was not one of those times. It was a big mistake on a pretty simple pass back to Raya. And Buemo just does really well there. And guys, the finish wasn't easy. That's the thing with Arsenal, man. Like, they closed down even in that scenario where, Buemo and a couple of the guys had like a 2v1, 3v2. And Buemo still does quite a bit to score that goal. So, very nice goal from him. We go into the situation with Dorgu. Wow, man. What a strike. Dorgu has, I think 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 7. He's turning out to be, he's got some real potential going forward. I mean, he's already kind of building into that potential, but I like what I see most of the time when I watch Dorgu play. He had a ball that he played to Sesko before I think Amarim got sacked, or maybe it was just after. It was beautiful, man. Like, the ball was so perfect. It was wow. So Dorgu has been really impressive on my list of players that I'm putting more stock into because I'm starting to see more consistent performances from these players over the games, and Dorgu has got to be one of them, man. Dorgu's been really showing out. So I like what I see from him. Then you get 2 situations with Arsenal. The first is that you get a shot that's not going in. It doesn't seem like, or it's saved, but hits Maguire in the hand. So nothing comes out of that. And then we end up getting the prime Arsenal corner. Guys, we get the prime Arsenal corner where Arsenal does their magic. I tell you, bro, I don't know how these teams who play Arsenal don't concede 2 or 3 goals. I'm watching these corners. It's so funny to me, too. You don't see many teams in the world like Trossard and all these guys win corners, Saka. They get so hyped every time they win a corner because they know they're crazy at corners. And just watching the corners, I mean, it's the keeper's pinned in. The defenders are fighting for their lives. Even the one at the end of the game, Cunha tries to bait a foul so they can get out because it's just wow. Every team should be studying what Arsenal is doing in the corner kicks in the execution this year because they've added a whole level to making them so much more efficient and hard to beat over a season because of the efficiency of them getting a goal off a set piece pretty much almost every game. Sorry. So dry now. It's like 10 degrees. The inevitability of Arsenal, man, just getting that corner, and then, man, wow, Cunha comes in off the bench, and that was, wow, guys, that was a rocket of a shot. I mean, for me, I really respect Raya, so the shots that Dorgu had, I mean, we're talking bar down volley, Cunha, we're talking, crazy dip finesse, right off the bench. I mean, you call it instant pack, guys. Cunha's a baller, and United have had so much depth to their team with these signings. I'm telling you, now they're bringing in Sesko and Cunha. Come on, bro. So look, let's give my man of the match though in this game is to Lamens, the United goalkeeper. Many saves that people aren't appreciating. He did so well today. This position at Manchester United, really since De Gea left, has been just a nightmare. All right, he did phenomenal today. I mean, Saka put in a shot that was really sneaky near post. I thought there was multiple corners, multiple set pieces. He really came out and punched it out, or at least demanded, the presence of the team. And like he was for me a leader today. He made many saves. There was another save early on in the game when Arsenal had off another set piece. It wasn't a corner, but Declan Rice was just serving at the best balls in the world right now. Man. I mean, I'm like just every time, bro, I'm just laughing because I'm like, we know Declan's gonna put it on a platter. So, phenomenal guys, phenomenal game from United. I think they need to sign Carrick. I wouldn't bother going and getting another manager. The players look like they clearly are understanding his instructions. They look happier. The tactics look good. Look, it could be a honeymoon phase, but at this point with United, you need to gamble on that, bro, because they're playing insane. They've just beat the top two teams in the Premier League. They freaking bent Man City over. They could have beat them 5-0. Today, guys, honestly, this is as good of a result you're going to get against Arsenal. You game plan the game well. You let Arsenal have some control, not too much. You limit them to one goal off set pieces, okay? And then you hit the best defensive team in the world with 3 goals. So, I mean, I've seen enough. Carrick needs to be full-time manager. Just give him the rest of the season. We got a situation now where Manchester United are in 4th place, guys. Wow, 4th place in the top 4 with 38 points. They've won 2 games in a row. They've got Fulham up next, which you would think, it's going to be a tough one, but should be a little easier than Arsenal if they game plan the right way. Arsenal will see Leeds, who I just think Leeds are just always a team that can kind of sneak a result, but I expect them to bounce back. Guys, Arsenal, though, let's be real. The gap now is 4 points. Okay? It's 4 points. And Arsenal, listen to this. City have only won 1 out of the last 5 games. And Arsenal have won 2 out of the last 5. It's really disappointing for me if you're an Arsenal fan because you've been given like the golden chance to alleviate and take pressure away, and you've done the absolute opposite of that. All right? You've drawn 2 in the last 3 and you lost 1. You've taken 2 points out of 9 available, where you had a chance with how City have been playing in the last 5 that you probably could have given yourself a nice 10 to 15 point gap. And, it's giving other teams belief now. We've got 15 games left in the Premier League. United are 12 points out of first. But, look, realistically, Villa's only 4. City's 4. I mean, City would be the more likely one, right, to compete. And I believe Arsenal still has to